You ever notice how people only truly appreciate something when it's gone? They take presence for granted. But the moment you step back, the moment you pull away, that's when they feel it. That's when they realize. Let them miss you. Let them wonder. Let them feel that space you once filled, because when you do, everything changes. There's something powerful about stepping away, about choosing silence over constant noise. People don't realize what they have until it's no longer in front of them, until the convenience of you is gone. That's when they start paying attention. That's when they begin to understand your worth. We live in a time where access is unlimited. Everyone is reachable all the time. Messages, calls, notifications, constant availability. But when something is always there, it starts to lose its value. Familiarity breeds complacency. People start assuming they can call on you whenever they want. They stop appreciating your presence because they've never had to experience your absence. Think about the last time you lost something important. The same goes for people. If you're always available, always saying yes, always showing up without hesitation, you felt its absence in a way you never noticed its presence. They start expecting you to be there. When something is always there, we stop seeing it. But when you step back, it'll always be around from spaces, but take it away, and suddenly its value becomes crystal clear. Everything shifts. People begin to notice. They feel the weight of your absence, and that's when the respect starts to build. It's not about playing games. It's not about manipulating people into missing you. It's about knowing your worth enough to not overextend yourself. It's about understanding that your energy is valuable. Your presence is a privilege, not something to be wasted on those who don't appreciate it. Growth happens in solitude. Some of the most powerful transformations occur when you step away from the noise and focus inward. When you disappear for a while, not because you're running, but because you're building. That's when you become undeniable. That's when you return stronger, sharper, and more certain of who you are. People remember the ones who made an impact, but they only truly appreciate them when they're no longer easily accessible. That's the value in absence. That's the power of stepping away. Because when you come back, you won't just be seen. You'll be respected. There comes a time when you have to step back and ask yourself a simple question. Am I valuing myself the way I should? Too often people look for validation in the wrong places, hoping someone else will tell them they're enough. They wait for approval, for recognition, for someone to confirm their worth. But the truth is, no one can give you what you refuse to give yourself. Growth begins when you stop seeking validation and start building yourself from the inside out. It's easy to rely on the opinions of others, to let their words dictate your confidence. But when you do that, you hand over control. You allow someone else to decide how you feel about yourself. That's not power, that's dependency. And the moment those voices go silent, you're left with nothing but doubt. Real self-worth comes from within. It's not given, it's developed. It's built in the moments when no one is clapping for you, when no one is watching, when you have every reason to quit but choose to keep going anyway. That's when you grow. That's when you find out what you're really made of. Because growth isn't about proving yourself to others, it's about proving yourself to yourself. The most dangerous thing you can do is settle. Settle for less than you deserve. Settle for people who don't respect your value. Settle for a life that doesn't challenge you to become better. Comfort is a trap. It keeps you in the same place, convincing you that where you are is good enough. But deep down, you know there's more. You know you're capable of greater things. And the only way to reach them is to demand more of yourself. That means being disciplined. It means cutting out distractions, walking away from things that drain your energy, and refusing to shrink yourself just to fit into places you've outgrown. Growth requires sacrifice. It requires discomfort. It requires you to step into the unknown and trust that you have what it takes to handle whatever comes next. There will be people who don't understand your journey. They'll question your choices. They'll wonder why you've changed, why you're not as available, why you're focused on things they don't see. That's okay. Not everyone is meant to understand your path. Not everyone is meant to come with you. Some people are only comfortable with the version of you that benefits them. The moment you start growing, the moment you start prioritizing yourself, they'll try to pull you back. That's not your problem. Keep moving. One day you'll look back and realize that every hard decision, every moment of doubt, every sacrifice was necessary. That version of you that settled, that doubted, that waited for permission, it won't exist anymore. And the best part, you won't need anyone to validate your worth because you'll already know it. There is something powerful about not being fully known, about keeping a part of yourself reserved, untouched, beyond reach. In a world where everyone is oversharing, where people broadcast every move, every thought, every feeling, mystery is a lost art. But those who understand its power know that what is unknown is often more intriguing than what is constantly revealed. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully figure out. When you are too accessible, too predictable, too open, you remove the element of curiosity. There's no reason to wonder about you, no reason to seek you out, because everything about you is already on display. But when you hold back, when you don't give everything away so easily, you create something rare, anticipation. Mystery commands attention without demanding it. It makes people lean in, wanting to know more, wanting to understand what they can't quite grasp. It's not about being secretive for the sake of it. It's about knowing that not everything about you needs to be exposed. Your thoughts, your plans, your dreams, those aren't for everyone. Not everyone deserves access to every part of you. Think about the most captivating people, the ones who leave a lasting impression. They don't overshare. They don't explain themselves unnecessarily. They move with purpose, letting their actions speak louder than their words. They don't rush to fill silence because they understand that silence itself holds weight. When they do speak, when they do reveal something, it matters. It lands differently because it isn't given away carelessly. Being mysterious doesn't mean being distant or unapproachable. It means being intentional. It means understanding that not every thought needs to be said, not every move needs to be announced, not every feeling needs to be displayed. It means embracing the fact that sometimes less is more. When you walk into a room, you don't have to be the loudest to be noticed. Presence is not about volume, it's about energy. When you carry yourself with quiet confidence, when you don't rush to prove yourself, people take notice. They wonder about you. They respect the fact that you don't need external validation to feel important. The moment you become too predictable, too easy to read, you lose a part of your power. People stop paying attention because they already know what to expect. But when you move with mystery, when you keep a layer of yourself reserved, you become unforgettable. You make people work to understand you, and in that process, they value you more. In a world that constantly demands more and more access, more exposure, more information, be the one who gives less. Be the one who isn't always available, who doesn't always explain, who lets people wonder. Because in that space of uncertainty, in that gap of the unknown, power is built. And those who understand that, they don't chase attention, they attract it. You have to ask yourself, am I changing for myself or am I changing for them? Too many people move through life chasing validation, molding themselves into what they think will be accepted, what will be praised, what will be applauded. But the problem with living for approval is that it never lasts. The moment you stop performing, the applause stops too. And then what? Who are you when no one is watching? True transformation isn't about proving yourself to anyone. It's not about making people notice. It's not about getting recognition. It's about growth, real, undeniable growth that happens whether people see it or not. The kind of growth that doesn't need an audience. Because when you're truly evolving, you don't have time to stop and explain yourself. You're too busy becoming. The need for validation is a trap. It keeps you in a cycle of seeking, of waiting, of looking outward for something that can only come from within. When you rely on other people's approval, you hand over your power. You give them control over your direction, your decisions, your confidence. But when you choose transformation over validation, you take that power back. You stop worrying about who's watching and start focusing on the work, the real, difficult, personal work that leads to lasting change. Not everyone will understand your journey. Some people will question why you're moving differently, why you're distancing yourself from certain environments, why you no longer react the way you used to. They may try to pull you back, not because they want what's best for you, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to confront their own stagnation. But that's not your burden to carry. When you stop looking for validation, you free yourself. You free yourself from the need to explain, to justify, to prove. You stop worrying about being seen and start focusing on becoming someone worth seeing. And the irony, when you do that, when you prioritize your own evolution over external approval, the right people start paying attention. Not because you chase them, but because your growth speaks for itself. Real transformation is quiet. It happens in the moments when no one is looking, when you're alone, when you're doing the hard work that no one will ever applaud. It happens in the sacrifices, in the discipline, in the nights you choose self-improvement over distraction. And when the change finally shows, when you walk into a room with a different energy, when you speak with a new confidence, when your presence demands respect without a single word, that's when people notice. But by then their validation won't matter, because you didn't do it for them. You did it for you. Transformation is not about proving yourself to the world, it's about proving yourself to yourself. When you stop seeking validation and start focusing on your own growth, everything changes. People may not understand your journey, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to. The real reward isn't in their approval, it's in the person you become when you decide to evolve for your own sake. So keep moving, keep growing, keep transforming. Let your actions speak louder than words, and let your progress be the only validation you ever need. Because when you truly level up, you won't have to say a thing. The world will see it for themselves.